Here in Miami, Lone Depot Park. We're going to be treated to a gorgeous day for baseball on the show. It's the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Miami Marlins. First pitch coming your way next.
And now, please welcome your Miami Marlins.
Just about ready to go. And on the mound in this one, Sandy Alcantara.
Anytime you have 5 pitches to work with on the mound, that repertoire can be a real weapon in terms of keeping hitters off balance, man. It's one of those things that I'm going to be looking for in this one. Does he have a feel for all of those pitches, or is he just able to get 1 or 2 over in the strike zone where he wants? Now, it's tough to do, to be able to command all those pitches, but if he can, he is going to be very tough for the opponent today.
Bounding ball here, rolls foul. The 0-1. Fought off foul. Ring him up, says Darryl Parker. That's a strikeout.
Well, big power guy right there and generating so much bat speed. It's hard to bring that to a halt once you've committed. They tried to check the swing, just couldn't do it.
Trey Turner now. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike. Alcantara, a former Cy Young Award winner. He features a sinker, a changeup, a four-seamer, a slider, and he occasionally uses a curve. High fly ball, right field. Sanchez under it. Nabs it. 2 down. And time now for the Phillies lineup. And the challenge for this lineup today, Singy, finding a way to have success against the sinker ball.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch to hit, Boog, and even harder to elevate. Got to set your sights a little bit higher when you're at the dish. They're struggling with it. I'd expect them to make some type of adjustment. It won't take long to see how well that sinker is working today.
Bryce Harper stands in now and watches strike 1.
Well, at that velocity, if that's all you're seeing, 88, you can handle that all day long. That's what you get in batting practice. But off the velocity of the fastball, that is a very tough pitch to adjust to.
2 down, nobody on. Hard ground ball, base knock.
Big knock there to keep the inning alive and an opportunity to put something in the gap and give the Phillies the lead.
Castellanos.
Man at first. Here's Nicholas Castellanos. And first offering is fouled off. Tap foul at the plate. On the ground to third. Oh, the throw is over his head. Around second is Harper, and that extends the inning.
That is big.
Maybe just a little lack of concentration on that throw. 2 out. You think you've got the play made. Players are starting to move off the field towards the dugout, and then everyone's got to come back. Sometimes you take that throw for granted, and that's all it takes to keep the inning going.
And here comes Alec Boehm. And fouled off. Swings and misses, struck him out.
Sometimes he wears the emotion on the sleeve, but that's okay as long as he's getting results. And right there, thrilled with the punch out to get out of a jam.
Back here with my pal Singy, and on the hill today, Zach Wheeler. What do you have on him, Singy?
It's always interesting to see how he utilizes all of his pitches and how many of those he has a good feel for on that given day. When he's right, he's really able to keep hitters guessing, and all of his stuff seems to be coming out of the same arm slot, the same tunnel, and that can make life very difficult on his opponents.
Bottom of the first. Now a chance for Xavier Edwards. And that one fouled off. And he bunts, but that's a foul ball. That one almost got him.
2 strike. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Out there to center. Marsh running hard. Tracks it down for the out. And there's one down.
Second, the third baseman.
And time now for the Marlins lineup. They're dealing with a top-level arm on the mound, so this figures to be a tough matchup for them. What's the key to the offense today, Singy?
Well, Boog, I think when you got a guy that's this talented on the mound, you got to find ways to disrupt his rhythm, make him uncomfortable a little bit. The guys that can handle the bat and perhaps, bunt for a base hit, get him moving off the mound. If you're in the box and he seems to be just in a flow, step out, mess up his timing, somehow try to get in his head a little bit. And then when he does come in the zone, you may only get one pitch. You better not miss it.
Hey! 0-2 is the count.
Pitch misses. 1-2 to count. And Singy, as a team, you need to make the most of the very few opportunities he's going to give you, right?
Absolutely. And if you don't get to guys like this a lot of times early, once they really settle in, it's going to be the later innings that they hand that ball over to a reliever, if they do at all.
That misses the zone, and the count's full. Fights it off. He'll see another.
I wouldn't throw him another breaking ball. Try to go again with the fastball, slightly elevated. He just is having a hard time catching up.
Stays alive. Line drive, and this might be trouble. Now he'll turn for second. And he starts his afternoon off right with a double.
Man, that was a pretty good battle at the plate, and I'll tell you, it feels pretty good as a hitter when you grind out a hit like that. Put a really nice balanced swing on it, and when you can rope one into the gap like that, you're thinking extra bases from the first couple of steps out of the box, and he'll feel real good about that one.
Now it's the right fielder, Jesus Sanchez. And a foul ball. Swing and a foul back, and that's out of play.
Now pitching for the
Taiwan
Phillies,
Walker is forced
Number
to the
99.
mound after the injury.
Taiwan Walker.
Foul ball, still 0-2. One out and a runner at second. Fights that one away, and the count remains 0-2.
Also really good at bat. What I like about this guy, his bat stays in the zone for a long time. Gives him the ability to foul off tough pitches.
Man at second. Foul ball, it stays 0-2. Battling here as he fouls it away. Out to short, Turner. To first, and he beats it. Everyone's safe.
Oh, that's a really tough play no matter who you are, but I think he has a chance to get him at first if he's just able to get that throw off a little quicker. It looked like he took one extra step to set himself and get a grip on the ball.
2 on, 1 out. Now here is Jonah Bride. Breaking ball through there for a strike.
Well, all eyes on the double play ball in this spot. No better way to get out of this inning.
Swing and a tapper that rolls foul. Two on, 1 out. Pitch in the dirt, and that's ball 1.
Way to lay off that pitch down.
In the dirt. Throw to second, not in time. He's there easily. And 2 in scoring position now, thanks to that wild pitch.
Well, that could end up being pretty costly right there. They had the double play set up as a way to get out of the inning, but instead it becomes a big strikeout situation with 2 in scoring position.
Second and third, 1 away. Up the middle, Trey Turner gloves it. Throw off line, he's safe. And a nice job there to keep it from getting away.
That's a play you expect your shortstop to make pretty much every time. Pretty routine. Hard to tell if he didn't get a great grip on it or the mechanics on him just broke down, but that gives this offense an extra out to work with.
Runners at the corners here, 1 away. Matt Mervis getting ready to hit. Right through there for a strike. On the ground, a second, might be 2. Off balance feed, there's 1. To first, not in time. Great effort there.
I promise you, there are guys that get a little bit faster when they can smell an RBI. That was a possible inning-ending double play. Great hustle, and he gets rewarded with the RBI because of it.
And now, Griffin Conant. First pitch doesn't find the zone. Mervis off of first with 2 away. And he hits a ground ball right side, and that's a foul ball. 2 outs. That's outside. And that's ball 2.
Hey, 2.
Foul ball left side. He'll see another.
That wasn't an easy pitch to hit. It's much easier to do damage against mistakes, but that's not what that pitch was.
That's outside. And now it's 3-2.
3-2, 2 out, runner on first. A lot of movement in the infield. Hitter's got to stay focused on the pitch.
Swings through that one. It's a strikeout. But 2 runs for him, and they jump ahead. Second inning coming up here in South Florida. It's the Marlins 2 and the Phillies nothing. Back here at Lone Depot Park. Second inning set to go. Now it's the veteran outfielder, Max Kepler.
Well, after putting up a nice inning on offense, got some runs across, this is where you look for the starter to go out there, have a shutdown inning. Don't give that other team any hope. You just hope that he can get through this inning, get the bats back up there while they're hot.
Alcantara in his 7th season, 29 years old, and of course has a Cy Young to his credit. And that's off the outside edge. And now 2-0.
Boog, our man Darryl Parker, DP, at home plate for this one. Pretty average size strike zone, but the book on him is that it sort of moves around. You can't always count on how he's going to call it from game to game.
And another ball. Yeah, he's one of those umpires that I have to see make his call on a borderline pitch before I start making my call. Like you said, it's not always predictable, but it's pretty fair for the most part. And that drops in for a strike. Next offering in there for a strike. And now it's 3-2.
Full count.
This one in the air center field. Stowers settles underneath it. Makes the grab, 1 down.
Batting 7th, the catcher, JT.
And up to the plate is JT Realmuto. Ground ball right side. It squirts through.
Batting 8th, the second baseman, Bryson.
This is Bryson Stott.
I just love watching Alcantara get ready for games, Boo. He turns into a different person, just usually cracking jokes and having a good time. But start days are a different story. That's when things get serious for this guy.
On the ground. And foul ball.
Pretty good pitch to take a pass at in a 1-0 count. Just not able to square it up.
Swings and misses. And a count 1-2.
This guy's got such a good sinker. As a hitter, you've got to look up in the zone. If you look down, you're going to be chasing stuff in the dirt.
Hacks and misses. It's a strikeout. And Chris, that's a way to neutralize his speed by keeping him off base.
And the defense breathes a sigh of relief because he puts pressure on everyone if he can put the ball in play. But that's how you do it.
Runner on the go. Pitch in for a strike. Throw there. Safe. Runner at second, 2 down. Here at the top of the second. shot, ground ball, and that's through the infield. Here comes Real Muto around third. The throw is offline, and he's in to score. And it's a one-run game.
Comes through with the RBI. Not much to this one other than just a willingness to go the other way and put the ball in play. That's a team at bat right there. Nice job of staying back and letting the ball get deep.
Kyle Schwarber comes up to hit here. Led off the game with a strikeout. Runner on the move. Pitching for a strike. Throw. Save. The pitch. Just missed. Runner at second, 2 down. Close, but called the ball. And it's 2-1.
Well, this is a good time to step out of the box, take a deep breath, reset. A couple of change-ups. Probably won't see another one here.
And a swing and a miss. And that's that.
Well, this guy competes hard. We see the emotion there. I love it. Great job of getting out of the jam.
Bottom of the second. Now here's the Marlins DH, Davison De Los Santos.
De Los Santos.
Walker back to work. Hit in the air right field, and that one way back there, and that is way gone. Into the second deck it goes. It's 3-1. He sent the first pitch over the wall.
Must have dinner reservations because he wasn't wasting any time at the plate in that at bat. That's an incredible job of letting that breaking ball get deep, trusting your hands, and driving it out the other way. That's how you practice it in the cage. Incredible when you can translate it into the ball game.
And the batter now, Kyle Stowers. Check swing, and he went. That's strike one.
Oh, you just got to delete it. You give up that leadoff home run, go back to work, focus on this next batter.
Next offering is fouled back. Fouls it back with 2 strikes. That one just misses. Now 1-2.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a splitter.
That's about as nasty of a splitter as you'll come across, especially in terms of movement. I mean, that thing tumbles out of his hand and just drops off the table at the last moment. If he keeps it down, it's just so tough to put wood on.
Slice down the right side. And a foul ball. Not close with that one, and that's ball 1.
0-2 pitch that far out of the zone gives the hitter a little confidence that maybe he can climb back into this at bat.
Fouls it off, still 1-2. One down, base is empty. That one the other way, makes the grab for the second out.
It's never fun going back to the dugout after hitting a line drive that finds a
Now
glove, but
batting,
you will get
the
some high
shortstop,
fives. You know, when you make great contact, you feel like you've done everything right. But in this game of baseball, not everything is in your control.
Edwards at the plate now. That's ball one.
Ball one,
Two down, bases empty, but one run across. Bottom half of inning number 2. That one pushed foul out of play off to the left. The shortstop takes the ball. Right through there for a strike. Still 2-2 after the foul ball. And the sweeper is off the plate. Two out, space is empty. Line drive, base hit.
Hitting is really easy for some guys. One thing that I can see already, his bat stays in the zone on plane for an extended period of time. And guys like that, they have a high contact rate and they have more barrels because of that bat being on plane.
Runner on the go. Pitch in for a strike. Real Muto throws not in time. It's a stolen base. Move to second, and he's back in easily. Just off the inside edge. And that is out of play. Edwards at second with 2 down. Ripped to third. Boom. Throws on to first. Inning over, and it could have been worse. One for the Marlins on the solo shot. It's now a 3-1 ball game. Back here in Miami, top half of the third inning. Here's the shortstop at the plate. Trey Turner. And the first pitch misses for ball 1. Line drive, caught.
That swing right there tells me he's seeing the ball pretty well. I know it didn't produce a hit, but he made solid contact, and that's all you're looking to do anytime you're at the plate.
Here comes Bryce Harper. 1 for 1 with a single so far. First pitch misses. 1 out, base is empty. Ripped in the air, left field, and a touchdown for a base hit.
A late jump, and I think that was the difference on the play, Boog. It's not always easy seeing the ball off the bat. Something to improve.
Man at first with 1 gone, and now it's the cleanup spot for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos. Runner takes off. Cut on and miss. Throw to second. Tag, and they got him.
You know, something that's often overlooked in a caught stealing situation is just that catcher's footwork. These guys work so hard on just every aspect, receiving the pitch, but then also getting into a position to get off a quick throw. Right there, that was perfect execution, and it allowed him to get the throw down to second in time.
2 down, nobody on. That just misses, and it's 1-1.
1-1.
And that one is in for a strike. Good pitch. Got him swinging. He chased the changeup, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Down quickly go the Phillies. Score holds. It's 3-1. As we go to the last of the third. And now for the Marlins, Jesus Sanchez. That's off the mark. Ball one. Movement in the bullpen. Joe Ross getting loose out there. And another ball.
2-0.
Out towards right center. That's well struck. And that gets down into the gap. Makes the turn and heads for second. In safely. It's a double and his second hit.
Couple of hits in a row for him here. Hooked around that pitch on the outside, but he was still able to square it up pretty nicely. And that takes quick, strong wrist to pull that off.
Jonah Bride, the next up for the Marlins. Swing and a miss as he was out front.
You know, these Marlins doing a good job of putting the ball into play, and that makes things more challenging on the defensive side. And here's a stat for you, Boog. They're making contact with more than 85% of the pitches that they're swinging at. It's pretty special stuff. Not so good if you're out there on the mound.
That one inside. 1-1. Runner at second, nobody out. To the right side. Lays out, but he can't squeeze it. No throw, and they don't get the out.
That's a good job right there.
First baseman.
Yeah, 2 strikes on you. Just got to battle.
So runners at the corners, nobody out. Now here is Matt Mervis. And a first pitch fastball is in for a strike.
Ball one. 1-1.
No outs. Runners at first and third. That's a base hit. Run scores.
Picks himself up an RBI. Anytime you rip a line drive the other way, you feel really good about what you did at the plate. You trusted your hands, you let the ball travel, and you took the barrel straight to it. That's great work right there.
First and second, no outs. Now the left fielder, Griffin Conine. 0 for 1. He struck out swinging last time. That one ripped. This one looks like trouble. One run across. Mervis headed for the plate. He'll score. 2 runs are in.
No waiting around right there. He was ready to swing it on the first pitch. I love the approach he had right there with that pitch. Not trying to do too much, but still looking to drive it, and that's exactly what he's able to do into the opposite field gap for the double.
And the Phillies manager making his way towards the mound now as he will make a move. Taijuan Walker is done, and he's responsible for the runner on second, so the book isn't closed on him yet. We'll be right back.
Now pitching for
Here's the new pitcher for the Phillies, Joe
number
Ross.
41.
I think it's got to be a little tough coming in out of the pen when your guys are trailing so big on the scoreboard. Just doesn't have the same intensity to it, but he's got to find a way because these batters count the same for his stats, obviously, regardless of the score.
Davison De Los Santos, the next up for the Marlins. He's already homered here in this one. First pitch, not close. Swing and a foul straight back. Next offering is in for a strike.
Now just a cement mixer slider right there. It's a great pitch to hit if you can recognize it early and jump on it.
Off the outside edge, and now the count is 2-2. Hard grounder into the outfield for a knock. Konai coming home. Here's the throw to the plate. Oh, can't pick it up cleanly.
Well done. Drives in the run. I really like that swing, man. He didn't just push it the other way through the infield. He drove it that way, and it kind of makes me think he was thinking opposite field as he stepped into the box. Got a pitch he liked, and he got it done.
And up next for Miami, Kyle Stowers. Maybe a 2-ball. 5, 4, 3, and they turn the double play.
They made that double play look so easy, but it was far from routine. That's the one thing about big leaguers. They make tough plays look simple.
And at the plate for Miami, Nick Fortes. He's 0 for 1. And there's the strike. 4 runs already in the frame here in the last half of the third. Curve in the dirt.
1 strike.
Swing and a miss. That's strike 2.
When you throw a fastball by a guy like that, I imagine it's got to feel incredible. Look for him to throw it again at some point.
Next offering down low and in the dirt. That's foul off to the right side. Keeps the AB going. Cut on and miss. Struck him out. Ends the inning after they racked up a bunch of runs. So it's 4 runs for him. 5 hits. No errors. No one left. 3 innings complete. It's the Marlins 7 and the Phillies 1. And welcome back to the ballpark. John Shambi with Chris Singleton, and set to lead off the 4th, Alec Bohm. And first offering is fouled off.
You know, these Phils just lacking discipline at the plate in this ball game. They're chasing a lot of pitches outside the zone, and those chases that are turning into a bunch of outs. Can they turn that around and stay within the zone? We'll see, but I think they have to.
Swing and a bouncer towards third, but it kicks foul.
Clearly down in this ball game, and you can't look at the deficit and try to get it all back in one swing. It's got to come one at bat at a time, and even shrink it down smaller, pitch to pitch. Make that guy on the mound work to get you out.
That's down and in. A slider missed. Now a screamer into the outfield. Puts it away for the out.
Now batting, the left fielder,
Max Kepler at the plate. 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. That's in there. And that's strike 1. Base is empty, 1 away. Top half of inning number 4. That one 95 to finish him off.
Well, clearly just anxious right there, and understandably so. In an 0-2 count, you feel like you've got a lot of plate to cover, and you don't want to strike out, and you end up striking out. That's just one of those pitches where It's not over the plate, but because you committed to it as it was leaving his hand, by the time you realized it wasn't going to be in the zone, it's too late to hold up your swing.
That's inside. 2-0.
Boog, he never moved because he never had time to. But that kind of velocity, you'd prefer that pitcher work away.
Misses with the 2-0, and he's fired 3 straight outside the strike zone. The right-hander gives up the 2-out walk.
One of the things about that 2-out walk, the base runner over at first base is going to have a very aggressive secondary lead. So a ball down the line or into the gap will produce a 2-out RBI, and those are the best. That is, if you are the offensive side of it.
Stop in the box with 2 gone, and takes a look at a called strike. And that's in there at the knees.
Perhaps not quite ready to hit. First 2 pitches by him for a couple of strikes. Now back is against the wall. He's going to have to figure something out and figure it out quickly.
Real Muto off of first with 2 away. Gets a piece and stays alive. Two outs. Foul ball, still 0-2. And it's fouled off. They'll do it again.
Well, he's desperately looking for that swing and miss. He's going to have to just change speeds a little bit, try to move it around, create just a little bit of illusion at the end.
Swings through that, and it's a strikeout. Make it 7 strikeouts for him. 1 left for Philadelphia. They're down 7-1. Ready to go. Bottom 4. Stepping in is the switch hitting shortstop, Xavier Edwards. And the first offering, a fastball for a strike. Flares it into the outfield. Makes the catch. 1 down.
Up next for the Marlins, the third baseman, Connor Norby.
So digging in, Connor Norby. 1 for 2. In there, and it's 0-1. The Fish up big in this one. We're here in the bottom of the 4th. And takes low for ball 1. Swing and a ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. So they get a man aboard with a 1-out single.
Up next for the Marlins.
Once you get the ball by the pitcher, there's a lot of base hits up the middle, even on ground balls. So a nice job to use that big hole and get himself a hit.
1 down. And now the right fielder, Jesus Sanchez. First pitch just misses. And that's outside.
Tried to backdoor him with that slider right there, but just missed off the plate. Good pitch, though.
Come on, let's keep it going.
Just missed. And ball 4, 2 aboard.
4 pitches. That's an easy walk, man. He could have walked me right there. The last one wasn't even close.
2 on with 1 out. Here's the second baseman, Jonah Bride.
Ball down.
Squirts away a little bit. Swing and a miss.
Wow, no fair right there. I mean, that slider didn't move till the very last moment. Incredibly difficult to pick that up. Just kind of have to tip your cap on that pitch.
1 out. Runners at first and second. And that's ruled a swing. It's a strikeout. And now the first baseman, Matt Mervis.
The first baseman, Matt Mervis.
That one finds the zone. 0-1.
Well, he had a pretty good look at that pitch and not sure exactly what tied him up there. Couldn't pull the trigger, and perhaps the best pitch he'll see in this at bat to hit.
Two on, 2 outs. And that one pulled foul. That one lifted to left. Kepler has a beat on it. Drops into the glove. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We're headed to the 5th. It's the Marlins 7 and the Phillies 1. And we're back. Ready now for the 5th inning. Brandon Marsh steps to the plate.
Brandon Marsh.
Alcantara back to work. Marsh in his 4th year, 27 years old, and he was a 2nd-round pick back in 2016. Next offering is in for a strike. Out to short. Edwards whips it to first on the run, and he gets him. Nicely done.
Impressive backhand stop, but he had a little trouble getting rid of it and had to take that extra step, which could have cost him. But good job to make sure he got a good handle on it, and he got off a good, strong throw to still get the out.
Back to the top of the lineup, and now it's going to be Kyle Schwarber. Foul ball. The Phillies with a lot of ground to make up, and we're at the top of the 5th. Swing and a miss, struck him out, and he's up to 8 strikeouts in this one. Trey Turner at the plate, 0 for 2 in this one.
He's been going after these guys consistently, and as a result, he's been able to keep his pitch count low, throwing the ball very well right now.
0-1's the count.
Next offering in there for a strike. And the count is 0-2. That's to third. Norby. To first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Back here at Lone Depot Park. Here's the left fielder, Griffin Conine. That's off the mark, and it's 1-0.
You know, these Marlins putting together some really good at-bats in this game. There's been a lot to like with how they're approaching their chances at the plate. It looked to me like they really wanted to get to the starter early, get him out of the game before he settles in. So I'd say mission accomplished.
That misses the zone. 2-1.
2-1.
Swing and a ground ball up the middle. Makes a sliding stop. And very nicely done for the out.
Well, Boog, as an infielder, you have to be ready for anything. In that spot, it required going to the ground, getting a little dirty, and making a strong throw for the out. Great play.
Next is the designated hitter, Davison De Los Santos. Just missed. On the ground right side, and it finds its way through for a hit. So a man aboard now with one away.
Clearly seeing the ball very well in this one. Just a simple ground ball the other way. They had eyes on it, man. Sometimes that's all you need to do. Just let the ball travel, put the ball in play, and just hope it finds a hole.
At the plate, Kyle Stowers. Swing and a miss, strike one.
0-1.
Ross picks over.
No, he's in there.
Into center. Marsh running hard. Brings it in with a nice running grab. That's out number 2.
That's just a really nice catch on the run right there. He saved extra bases for sure. If the pitcher's his friend, he'll give him a second to catch his breath before he's ready to deal the next pitch.
Nick Fortes will hit next. Swing and a pop-up. Foul at a play off to the right side. That'll find the stands. De Los Santos leads off first with 2 down to the inning. And that's through there for a strike. 0-2. They tried to get him to chase on a slider.
1 ball, 2
down and
strikes,
away. Foul ball, still a 1-2 count.
The count.
In the dirt. Two outs.
3-2.
This one in the dirt. That's a hit. They stopped the lead runner at second. Now 2 on with 2 outs.
The batter, number 9.
Showed a lot of fight with 2 strikes in that AB. Really good swing right there. You got a pitch that he knew he could handle, allowed himself to stay back just a tad bit longer, and he hit the ball on the screws.
Xavier Edwards gets a chance to hit here. Comebacker to the mound. Gets it to first. That ends the inning. Marlins strand a pair, and they're on top 7-1. Back here in Miami, here's Bryce Harper.
The first baseman, number 3, Bryce Harper.
There's the strike.
Some hitters are just more confident if they can track that first pitch out of the hand of the pitcher. They don't care if they fall behind 0-1.
Yeah, that skips into dirt. So a foul ball makes it 1-2. Fouled off, and they'll do it again. Right side. 1 up, 1 down.
Maybe caught that one off the end just a little bit. Couldn't quite barrel it up enough to really drive it.
Nick Castellanos at the plate now. That catches the outside corner. It's 0-1.
Well, he's been incredibly efficient in this one. First pitch strike percentage over 70%. That's well above league average, and that's what's allowed him to pitch well up until this point.
The Marlins up big in this one, and we're in the top half of the sixth. And that's in the dirt.
2 strikes.
And that is a good eye on a pitch down low. 2-2.
He's trying to stay down in the zone, but the hitter just will not chase. Now back in a 2-2 count, he's going to have to go to something else to get him out.
Just off the inside corner, and that's ball 3. One down, base is empty. Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball. And it's a strikeout for the Sandman, his second of the game.
He's got to throw any pitch in any count. 3-2. He goes off speed,
Now batting,
gets the out.
Third baseman, Alec Bohm.
Two outs, base is empty. Alec Bohm stands in for the Phillies. There's a strike.
0-1's the count.
Two down, nobody on. Ground ball, left side, and it goes just foul. Oh, 0-2 now.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
See ya. Strikes him out for the second time today. Nothing doing for the offense that time. 2-3-4 due up in the home half of the sixth. It's the Marlins 7 and the Phillies 1. And welcome back to the ballpark. Now the third baseman, Connor Norby. Great speed and great power. A great athlete, quite simply.
When you have a real athletic player and who's able to do the baseball mechanical things really well, look out, because the sky's the limit on that potential.
And that drops in for a strike.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Next
Ball
offering is down low. Stirring in the Phillies bullpen, Tanner Banks up and throwing. Alvarado, the power lefty, up as well. That one outside, and the count is 3-1.
Pretty easy to give up on that pitch right there. Started on the edge of the plate with the spin. You know it's going to finish well off the plate.
That one misses, so a leadoff walk.
Well, that's a really good take right there, and that's just mentally prepared,
right
knowing that if it's
fielder,
not
number
on the
7,
tee, you're going to take that pitch because you still have one more strike to work with. Not easy to lay off, but he did an excellent job in that plate appearance.
In the air, out towards left center. Kepler hauls it in, and there's one away. Now it's the second baseman, Jonah Bride. And the slider just misses. Norby leads off first with one away. Next offering is downstairs. And another ball.
And that's a great take right there. Even though it's a strike, with the situation, runner on first base, you want to keep the ball off the ground. And you swing at that pitch, most likely you roll into a double play.
That one finds the zone. Now 3-2. Man at first, one away. Good job to fight that one off. Fouled off again, and it remains 3-2. Knocks that one away, and we'll do it again. Ninth pitch of the at-bat due next.
Here we go, Marlins, let's go.
And they'll do it again. On the ground to third. And that's a fair ball. Throw into third. Throw pulls him off the bag, and he's safe.
But when you see that many pitches in an at-bat, your chances of succeeding go up. And right there, we see the result.
Matt Mervis.
And now for the Marlins, Matt Mervis. Fouled off. He was late. Runners at the corners, one away. Here in the bottom of the sixth. Check swing, no appeal.
Great spot to be in right here for the pitcher. He can either strike this guy out or get a ground ball double play.
Caught him looking for the K.
Well, that's a pitch, that slider from an opposite-handed
Now
pitcher
batting,
that you
the left
usually
fielder,
see very
Marlins.
well, but for some reason he didn't pick it up, and it just kind of got into the strike zone late. Gave up on it a little bit early.
Manager out of the dugout, and he's going to make a change. Joe Ross done for the day, and the line not closed on him yet as he's responsible for the runners on base. Back
Now
with a new
pitching
pitcher after
for
this.
Philadelphia.
A new pitcher in the game,
Number
Tanner
58.
Banks.
And they felt it was
Tanner
time to bring on a left-handed
Banks.
reliever from the pen with the lefty hitter coming up. I think that's a good move. I know I never liked when opposing teams did that to me.
Griffin Conine, the next up for the Marlins. Inside, just missed. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Fouled off left side. Swings through that one.
Gonna really need to hang in there with that front side against this left-handed breaking ball.
Next pitch, a slider that misses outside. Lefty out of the stretch. Runners at first and third. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's the inning. Well, this game isn't very close, Singy. Let's see if we got any messages from those tuning in today.
I know we got some good stuff in there.
Singy, you grew up in the Bay Area. Did you have a favorite player as a kid?
Yeah, I love the A's lineup. I mean, guys like Ricky Henderson, Dave Kingman, Terry Steinbach. I mean, you just go on and on. Tony Armas. Just some tremendous rosters back then. And I loved as a kid getting on the BART train, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, pulling up right there to the stadium and then going in and watching the game.
Missed with a changeup, and the count is 1-2. You also had the pleasure of going over and hitting and taking batting practice at a big leaguer's house. Who was that?
Yeah, Willie McGee, one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
He lived in your neighborhood.
Yeah, his folks live right down the street from me, and that's where his batting cage was. I used to look out of my backyard down the hill and just dream of one day maybe being able to go over and hit with them. And that dream became a reality when I was drafted by the San Francisco Giants.
Throws to second, and they hold him at second. Maybe this is going to be the moment they start the comeback.
Catcher, JT Realmuto.
So, man aboard. JT Realmuto steps in. That's a little bit low.
If you're going to get something going, this is the time to do it. You get the leadoff man on. Everybody's got to look over the shoulder and say, I'm just going to keep the line moving. Don't try to do too much.
Swing and a foul out of play. No outs. Runner on second. Outside low. Now 2 balls and a strike. Action in the pen down there. Ronnie Enriquez up and loosening in the pen. Nardi getting loose as well. That one misses. 3 balls and a strike.
Here's an opportunity to do some damage and perhaps unlock this offense. 3-1 count. Be ready to turn on a fastball.
And ball 4, 2 aboard.
Well, he's starting to look a little gassed to me, and we'll see if they go to the bullpen in this spot or not.
Bryson Stott, the next to hit. Who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Stott tries to check his swing. Now a look to third. And he went around, says Ricky Holiday. First and second here, no outs. Fights that one away, and the count remains 0-2. And ball 1. That one misses, and the count is even 2-2.
Recognize that changeup right out of the hand. Just spit on it.
Gets a piece there. We'll do it again. Out towards right center field. Makes the grab. Runner tags and goes to third.
Now batting, the center fielder, Brandon Marsh.
2 on with 1 out. So digging in now for Philadelphia, Brandon Marsh. Check swing, called strike.
I really like how he's been attacking hitters early in at bats. He's thrown strikes on the first pitch to over 70% of the guys he's faced in this one.
1 ball, 1 strike.
In the dirt, blocked. To second, but way too late. Safe there. Realmuto into scoring position on the wild pitch, and there goes the double play possibility. And a swing and a miss there.
It really looks like these hitters have been in between with their timing today. Good fastball, excellent slider, but they've not been able to commit to one velocity and stay there.
Struck him out looking with the off-speed stuff. And Kyle Schwarber will come up.
Kyle Schwarber.
Base hit, 1 run in already. Now a long throw home. And he's out. Cut down, and that ends the inning. They get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. Midway in inning number 7, and it's time to stretch. It's the Marlins 7 and the Phillies 2. Set for the last half of the 7th, and now here's the Marlins DH, Davison De Los Santos. Ball
Nope.
1, no
Ball 1.
strikes.
Ball 1, no strike.
Swing and a miss. Nice changeup.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
Comes up empty. That's strike 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got him looking. That's a strikeout. Kyle
Now
Stowers,
batting,
the next
the
up for the
center fielder,
Marlins.
Kyle
0 for 3. A fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout. Fastball for a strike. Base is empty, 1 away. Here, the bottom of the 7th. And that one popped to short. Turner brings it in. And there's 2 away.
The catcher, number 4, Nick Fortes.
2 down, base is empty. Now it's the Marlins catcher, Nick Fortes. 1 for 3. First pitch
Nope.
doesn't find the zone. That one
Nope.
missing
Inside,
inside.
ball 2.
Back-to-back fastballs in. That last one called for a strike. Probably go away, but look for him to come back in there to try to finish you off.
2 outs. That's too
That's
low.
ball 3.
And now 3 and 1.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Tapped softly on the ground. Marlins set
out.
down in order. Nothing doing for the Marlins, but they're still on top 7-2.
Now pitching for
So
the
they turn
Marlins,
things over to one of their young arms,
Number 32.
Ronnie Enriquez.
And he's got a
Ronnie.
nice lead to work with, so he should come in throwing strikes, attacking these
Leading
hitters.
off for the Phillies,
Here's
the
Trey
shortstop,
Turner.
Trey
0 for 3 in this
Turner.
one. Right through there for a strike. Enriquez measures 5 feet 10 inches. He features a changeup, a slider, a 4-seamer,
1 and 1.
and he works in a sinker. Out to short. Whips it to first. 1 up, 1 down.
The batter, the first baseman, Bryce Harper.
Here comes Bryce Harper. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike.
No need to offer at that pitch until you get to 2 strikes. It's just a low percentage of success when you want to try to go after that down and away pitch.
And that drops in for a strike. Activity in the bullpen. Seth Martinez appears to be getting loose. The Fish leading by 5, and we're in the top of the 8th. Swing and a miss. There's that changeup. Fortes down to first, and there's 2 gone following the strikeout.
Well, they didn't want to go after him
Now
with the
batting,
fastball
the right
at all
fielder,
in that at
Nick
bat. Nothing but
Castellanos.
off-speed stuff. Even with all the changeups coming, somehow he was still early on the swing. So I think he had to be thinking it was only a matter of time until he saw some heat.
2 outs, base is empty. Nick Castellanos stands in for the Phillies. And that's in for a strike. 0-1. And that's downstairs and outside.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
That's ripped. Base hit. And that keeps the inning going.
The batter, the third baseman, Alec.
And now it's Alec Bohm. And there's a strike. Swing and a ball lifted in the air left field. Pretty well struck. That ball's carrying. Get out of town. He sends a rocket to left. It's 7-4. They needed that one, Singy.
Indeed they did. They've been fighting to get back into this game, and just like that, they're back in it. Looks like this guy was looking out over the plate, but he was ready to turn on the inside fastball. So direct to the pitch. Absolutely blasted out of this ballpark.
Now the Marlins manager out of the dugout, and he'll make a move to the pen. Ronnie Enriquez will depart. It's a 3-run game, and we'll be back to tell you about the new arm in a minute.
Now pitching for
Anthony Bender gets handed the rock out of the pen. He's into the game with the bases empty.
Bender.
So 2 away with nobody on. Now batting Max Kepler. In for a strike. 0-1.
Well, it's critical right here that they bear down and turn in some quality at bats. Try to chip away at that lead, because if it gets to the 9th, that closer's coming in.
0-1. Fouled off to the right. Two down, nobody on. On the ground to the left. And that's just foul. That one
ball,
missed.
2 strikes.
Next pitch is downstairs. Two outs. 3-2 now. Right. Throws to first in time. That's the 3rd out. But 2 come across to score in the inning, courtesy of this 2-run homer. It's now 7-4. Major League Baseball is on the show.
Pitching for
back
the Phillies.
Now, new pitcher on the mound as we roll into the bottom of the 8th. Jose Ruiz.
Pretty tight game, so they're looking for quality pitches out of him right here. Got to do his best to keep the score right where it is.
So back to the top of the order. Now it's the shortstop, Xavier Edwards.
Xavier Edwards.
And a first pitch fastball is in for a strike. And a swing and a miss.
0-2.
Cut on and miss, struck him out at 98 and one away.
Dominating strikeout there on just 3 pitches, and that's what a good power pitcher can do to you. If he's hitting his spots, filling up the strike zone, sometimes he bats over before it really begins.
Norby now at the plate as he swings through strike one.
It might be time to choke up a little bit, get that front foot down early, maybe even just spread out. He's really late right now.
Next offering is down low. Right through there for a strike.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Fights that one away, still 1-2. One down, base is empty. On its way to the corner. And that will drop foul. Ground ball to Bohm. Fires over to first. 2 up, 2 down.
The right fielder, number 7, Jesus.
Jesus Sanchez, the next up for the Marlins. Fastball for a strike. And it's 0-1.
0-1's the count. Ball, that's out.
Just missed with that backdoor breaking ball. If he gets a swing and miss or called strike, 0-2 count. Instead, it's 1-1. Look for him to go back to that pitch later in this at bat.
This ball's chopped on the ground. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it. Miami down in order. They hold a 7-4 lead.
Now pitching for
We're
the
back,
Marlins.
and on the mound is the closer,
Number
Calvin
53.
Fauché.
Save opportunity for him right here, and he's their guy. Time to lock this one down and get out of here with the W.
Here's JT Realmuto.
The catcher.
This is a guy who is very highly regarded defensively. Fun to watch him control stuff behind the plate. Good game caller, good at framing, but it's that big arm that really stands out.
0-1.
You come into the game knowing that unless the ball's in the dirt or gets by him, we're probably not going to steal anything today. So that's where you want to get a little more aggressive on your secondary lead and hope that some base hits, some slugs, some home runs can come into play.
And that one cutting but missing down low. Swing and a chopper out to short. Sends it across to first, and they get the leadoff man in the ninth.
Those plays can be tricky. They're routine, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be smooth. He delivered a good play right there.
He's 2 outs away. Bryson Stock digs in now. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a flyout. And the first pitch misses for ball 1.
Well, I'll say this as a former position player and base stealer. When you come into a game and you've got a guy like this behind the dish with a big arm, you really have to change your approach. Can't try to steal because you'll get thrown out. Maybe get a little bigger lead, be aggressive on the secondary. But this type of guy shuts the running game down.
So it's their last chance in this one. And now the center fielder, Brandon Marsh. Gets the outside corner with that one. Right side, and this should do it. Steps on the bag himself. Ball game.
Whether you're a season ticket holder or you just come to a couple of games a year, to see your team win at home, there's just something special about that. Good job by this team to get it done for the hometown fans.
This one finishes with a final of 7-4. For Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding crew here at MLB The Show, I'm John Shambi saying so long.